Dice. 40 years of asphalt etched onto his face, a roadmap of hard living. He wasn't born, he was forged in the fires of some forgotten forge, spat out into the world with a roar. He was a biker, not a weekend warrior, not a pretender, a true outlaw. His Harley, a chromed-out demon, was his only companion. The bike was an extension of himself, a steel stallion thundering across the scorched asphalt. Its engine, a guttural growl, was the only music he needed. He was a predator on two wheels. The open road stretched before him like a siren's call, a ribbon of black beckoning him to lose himself in its embrace. He rode with a fury born of despair and defiance, a man possessed by the ghosts of his past. He was a force of nature. His leather jacket, adorned with the colors of his club, spoke volumes. A skull and crossbones, a grinning reaper, a constant reminder of his mortality. He lived on the edge of a knife, a hair's breadth from oblivion, and he liked it that way. The highway rumbled beneath him, a constant tremor that resonated deep within his soul. It was a symphony of chaos and freedom. The wind screamed past his ears, carrying the faint scent of rain and rebellion. He was home. He rode with a pack of wolves, brothers bound by blood and iron. They were the outcasts, the rejects, the forgotten sons of a society that feared their kind. But on the road they were kings. The music was his lifeblood, deep, primal, the pulse of the highway coursing through his veins. Steppenwolf, Hendrix the Stones, their anthems filled the void within him. They understood his rage, his longing, his need for speed. They were the modern-day knights errant, riding their steel steeds into the heart of darkness. They lived by their own code, loyalty, brotherhood, and an unyielding thirst for freedom. They were the Hell's Angels. They gathered at roadside taverns, dimly lit dens of iniquity, the air thick with cigarette smoke, spilled beer, and the musk of leather and sweat. These were their sanctuaries, places where they could be themselves. He sat at the bar, a brooding giant nursing a beer. His eyes, cold and hard as steel, scanned the room, watching, always watching. He had seen things that would make a strong man weep, but he never showed weakness. They spoke in grunts and knowing glances. Their language was unspoken, a shared history etched onto their faces. They were survivors, each bearing the scars of a life lived on the edge. They were brothers. The bar was their battleground, a place where they could unleash the demons that haunted them. Fights erupted with the suddenness of a desert storm. Fists flew, chairs were broken, blood was spilled. It was a dance they knew well. He stared into the bottom of his glass. The whiskey swirled, a maelstrom of memories he couldn't escape. His past was a shadowy companion, always lurking just beneath the surface. He was haunted by the sins of his father, his old man, a shell of a man broken by the war, a ghost in their small-town home. He had tried to escape his legacy, but, you know, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. He had joined the army, hoping to find purpose on the battlefield. But the war had broken him in ways he couldn't explain. He came back, different, haunted. He sought solace in the roar of a motorcycle engine. The open road became his escape. The brotherhood of the club, his salvation. They accepted him, scars and all. He found a family in the most unlikely of places. The night stretched before him, a black canvas splattered with neon. The city lights blurred into streaks of color as he pushed his Harley to the limit. He was a man possessed, running from his demons. He gunned the engine, the bike responding with a roar that shook the pavement. The speedometer needle climbed steadily. He was pushing it, testing the limits of man and machine. He didn't care if he lived or died. He was already gone, lost in the labyrinthine corridors of his own mind. The road was his only solace, the only place he felt truly alive. He was a warrior on wheels, a modern-day berserker, consumed by the fury of the road. He was Dice, and this was his highway to hell.